And as part of the supercar run, well, at first glance it might just seem to be yet another white and carbon fibre supercar. But I'm talking to James Woods, and we're standing right beside the Tesla. I think everybody now has heard much of this, but tell us why such a fuss is being made of this car, James.
Well, I think really it's the efficiency of having an electric vehicle that's totally silent, but with instant torque. So from literally 1 rev to, I think it's 15,000, you immediately have 400 brake horsepower or 400 foot-pounds of torque. So it's silent but extremely efficient. The speed, particularly up to 50 and even to 80, is very rapid, as quick as any supercar on the market, pretty much. And so that's perfect for the road. It's very safe to overtake if necessary, equally quiet and efficient. With a good range now, the battery life is increasing all the time and the recharge time decreasing.
Well, I was going to come back to that, because I think a lot of us, to be honest, and a lot of motorists of my generation, I'm a little older than you, James, are perhaps still trying to get our heads around a battery-powered car. It's a relatively alien concept, and whereas perhaps we can see it for something like the Smart or a little city car, the fact that this is a gorgeous-looking supercar sitting in this paddock with all these other supercars looking like it belongs here, it's a bit of a sort of mental leap. Is that where Tesla is struggling a little bit to instruct people on how to bridge that gap?
Well, possibly, and I think it's because people see the car, think that it is a supercar, hear it's electric, and then exactly have that reservation about its performance. But now it's when people actually ride in it or drive it, then they're actually sort of blown away by its efficiency. Even having a conversation and people hearing of its performance, they are very impressed. And the fact that with an efficient drive, one could get to the Alps with, say, 2 stops. So by the time you go and have a nice lunch and move on and maybe stop overnight, and you could be there. So actually it's not just driving around town.
No, it's quite remarkable, because I think one of the things that we're all starting to hear about is this sort of fear of running out of battery charge, and there's nowhere to charge it because the infrastructure's not quite there yet. But you are a long way beyond that with the Tesla.
Yes, as I believe so. As I say, the recharge time is coming down, but it can be charged literally in a kitchen 3-pin plug, or in an industrial socket, which decreases that recharge time. But it can be overnight at literally in somebody's kitchen, or now more and more service stations providing electric sockets. In central London there are recharge sockets, and that's all technology that's coming on leaps and bounds.
The whole thing then is changing very, very fast, isn't it? I mean, how many of these realistically do you expect to sell, and are those sales now beginning to accelerate?
Well, Tesla have already sold over 1,000 Roadsters, which is proof of it in itself of actually the integrity of the car, of the company. They've recently announced the IPO and the Model S, and that is a 4-door coupe that is lighter, has a longer range, faster recharge time, and so on, with equal performance.
Well, thank you, James. Thank you for your time. Honestly, I can stand here and say I think I've just seen the future of motoring. This is really quite stunning, and we're going to have a little run down the hill in it in a little while.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for your time, James.
Not at all.